physical connection.
If you need permission to be a hoe, I'm granting you permission, girl.
We gotta spice it up around here.
Okay, relax, Magic Mike.
I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Why did you lie to me about Dad?
Baby, it's getting real ghetto at the house.
Watch me be the next Beyonce.
If I'm signing, you don't wait.
Ambidextrous best describes your talents. Like you're multifaceted in so many different areas. So my number one question is, when did you fall in love with acting and dancing? Which came first?
I think dancing came first, believe it or not. Yeah, dancing definitely became first, and then, but I think they happened around the same time. So dancing, I was like 2 or 3, and then I started acting when I was about to turn 4. I kind of fell into acting because my siblings were doing it, and I would go on the auditions with my brother, and I booked the job. So I was super young. I think I kind of just like fell into it because my mom and was in it, and my siblings were in it.
Okay. Now you were groomed under the beautiful sister Megan Good. What are some of the things you learned from her that has helped you become more explosive in your talents?
I think I've learned from Meg to be authentic, to put God first, to be unapologetically myself, to have a spirit of excellence, to be kind to every person I come in contact with, to treat everyone on set like that they're equals. I could probably go on forever, but more so just the human that she is, I think, is the biggest blessing.
Okay. Now, you began dancing at Debbie Allen's dance school. Would you say the instruction from the school allowed you to hone more into your confidence?
Yes, because I think it was a setup where we would do like the Chocolate Nutcracker every year, and you had to audition. So I think as a kid, like I really wanted to be like the prince of something. Like they would be like the princess, the prince, and I was so young, and I would get it, sometimes. So they gave a sense of healthy competition, even at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was actually working in the industry in that program. So it was kind of like mirroring what our lives were going to be like in the actual entertainment industry.
Okay. Now this is an important question. Getting to know the man behind the scenes. Tell viewers 2 new things about yourself, but it can't just be anything. It must be a toxic trait and your greatest vulnerability.
About me or the show?
You.
Okay,
You were
I was like, Jesus. What's my toxic trait and my greatest vulnerability? Wow, that's deep. I think oh God, what is my toxic trait? I think my toxic trait is that I'm a serial monogamist, probably. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing yet, but I think it can be toxic for sure. And what was the second question of my toxic trait?
your greatest vulnerability.
Um, I think my greatest vulnerability, wow, is probably my desire to not let people down. I think sometimes that leaves me vulnerable to letting myself down,
Mm-hmm.
and to probably to not pass their boundaries, passing mine. So I think
Mm.
that's probably where I'm the most vulnerable, especially people that I love.
Right. That's serious. Now going into acting and landing fiery roles, what has been your favorite character and why?
My favorite character, I don't remember his name to be honest. What was his name? I don't remember. But it was this movie. It was this movie called Never Heard. I think it was because it was so opposite of me. Like he had like
Mm-hmm.
I was in jail. He came from a crackhead mom. Was played by Kandi Burruss. He was raising his brother. It was just like a really honest character to play. And I think that it was so real to the people who had wrote it that it felt like a privilege to play it. And then outside of that was kind of this movie called I Will Follow with Ava DuVernay because it was so art house and like so vulnerable and so raw in the character's emotions. That it was like really like going on a journey in the production.
Okay, I love that. Now you released 2 singles and landed on the side of production. When did you discover that prowess for production?
I think actually working with Ava and then working with Anthony Hemingway and Lena Waithe, it just sparked my mind. I knew I always wanted to be a director. I'll go back. So there was actually a thing where a prophet had told me when I was younger, that I'll be successful in entertainment, but I'm supposed to be a director. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, like that's like what you're called to do. So then fast forward, I started working with these great young Black filmmakers who are making waves and being great humans. And it kind of gave me the permission to go after a lot younger. I thought I'd wait till I was like in my 40s or 50s, and then I was like deemed old enough to be a director. And then God was like, no. When I said yes, no one can say no. So I just kind of went for it.
Okay. Now, when you read the script a la carte, what made you decide to love on the script and take it into production?
So when I first read the first pilot, it was the humanity in it. It was also at that time I was in like a bad relationship, or when I perceived to be bad, and felt trapped. And Mahogany was in a similar situation. So I connected with the character. I connected with the flawedness of her choices, and that she was making them despite knowing better. At that time, I felt like I was making decisions despite knowing better for myself and knowing that I deserved more. So I connected with the journey, and it opened up the possibility of that world. And with me being only a couple years older at that time than those characters, it was such an informative years to me. I remember at 24, so I discovered I was a man. When my dad got sick, my brother had a baby. Like things started happening, and I had to show up in a certain way. And that's where these characters are right now. Like life's getting real, and they're really becoming adults.
Right. So she's off the chain.
Ooh, Mahogany?
So yes, would you consider that your twin character?
No, definitely not. Who's the most like me? Probably Z on the show is the most similar. A mixture of like Z and probably, if I'm being a hoe, Derek, maybe? Who knows?
Oh Lord, not Derek.
I'm joking.
Yeah, dog. You had to say Derek. So now you're working with Good on this project as well. How do you share the creative spaces? Because you're extraordinarily creative, not just in small increments where you just sit back and let it go where it may. You are very hands-on. So how do you share those spaces?
She more so like just kind of like champions me to like create the shows that I want to create. I definitely check if we have a pulse. I think the great thing about Megan is that she just wants to help young women and tell young women stories. So the fact that this show is told primarily through that lens, it lends to have her input and have her on set, just giving like an authentic, been there, done that cautionary tale approach. So it's kind of like a tennis match between the two of us.
Okay. Now, what does it mean to you to give young Blacks in this show permission to be flawed and yet redeemable? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. I think growing up, I was always told that like young Black people who make mistakes end up dead or in jail. And that just I experience. I made a mistake and I learned from it, and I made a better decision next time sometimes, or I didn't. So I think what the show does is it allows them to be in intimate spaces, growing, being flawed, figuring it out on camera, and not always getting it right. And it's not disregarding them or thinking that they're not worthy because they're not perfect. They're just human, and giving them to be it, and to have an end goal is to always be growing to whatever the best version of yourself next is.
Okay. Now, what messy scenario stands out the most in season 2?
Now, they're all messy. I was like everything. So, one of our lead characters ends up having sex with her ex-boyfriend's best friend and her, best friend's ex, one of our characters gets caught in a scandal with the, receiving a dick pic video. Another one's, in a three-way relationship, trying to figure it out, going through ups and downs. Another one is, a known side chick. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot going on in the show.
Baby, I'm telling you, because Kandi's character done threw me all the way live off, okay? However, your character is the man that wears many hats. So why is he all over the place?
I'm not on the show itself, but I have to play, directing it and producing it and show running it. I think it's my baby. At this point, I feel very attached to the show. In a way that, especially being from LA and seeing people come and people go, and like it being such a zeitgeist of like human interaction, and like growing up in the church myself, and then now seeing people and humans so differently, and not judging and being so inclusive. I think I really want that for everybody, especially us in our community, because culturally we're told what's appropriate and what's not. And sometimes that just isn't authentic for everybody, so giving people glimpses into what it looks like on the other side of the track, or the other side of the pew, or the other side of the world when you're not living in.
Period. And I'm thinking about Derek, honestly. That's who I was literally thinking about. Derek, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Derek, but even Derek is super redeemable in the fact that, like, he's a young, attractive man doing his thing, but then at the same time, he's on OnlyFans, he works at the bar, he owns the gym, but he's a good dude. He just happens to, express himself in a sexual way, which a lot of young men do,
Right.
It's
right.
It doesn't make you the bad guy, and it might make you the bad guy in someone's story, but it makes you the hero in yours because you're figuring it out, and growing through it until you
right.
so you're not using that as a way to cope or grow or heal,
Facts. I think everybody has a Derek friend. Like everybody has a friend like Derek in their life, for
Everybody
sure.
done been with a
Now,
Derek. Everyone done been Derek in their life at a point. Let's be honest. You want the
okay,
Derek.
look,
You want the Derek.
baby,
You don't want
baby, we don't have Derek for sure. Now, from the
Yeah.
slate of from the slate of new talents, who should we keep our eyes on?
I think everybody. I think that's the beautiful part about a show like this. Everybody's on the cusp of greatness. Kendall's great in the show. Jenna Nolan, India's great. Shani, Juan Gill, Xavier's works his butt off and it's amazing. Tami kills it. Kandi kills it. Romeo's dope. I can keep going on. This guy Aspen Kennedy is such a treasure that plays Frank Watson. Like, I would say everybody. It's such a privilege to work with them. They're just such budding new talent for sure.
Okay. Now, the show is on ALLBLK, All Black channel.
Mm-hmm.
Did they pick the show? How did you pitch the show, and what is it like working with that production company?
So they bought it from a pilot presentation, like a pilot pretty much. And it's amazing working with Brett over there and Nikki and Ashley and everybody. It's like a family. And they just really championed me and the show and the cast. And we just feel very supported, there. It's really dope being at a place that acknowledges Black people and sees us in all our facets and doesn't put us in a box. So it's great.
Okay, and the show can only be viewed on that channel exclusively, correct?
No, well, you have to have the all black membership. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, Roku, Apple, anything that has like subscriptions or anything on there. You can watch it there. YouTube TV. It's kind of on anything, but it is through the All Black subscription. But All Black gives you a free week, and we're on like episode 7 of 10 right now. And season 1 has 6 episodes, so you can go binge like 13 episodes right now, cuz.
Go binge it. It is like I was like, okay, I think it's too raunchy to be daytime soap, but it's sexy.
Yeah. And the sex serves as like a catalyst to their growth, in an intimate moment. Right there making the decisions. It actually isn't just to be sex. It's like so you understand why she's choosing whatever with Derek, because you saw it too. You saw it
right, bruh.
Would you choose it?
It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Derek is busy. Let's just say that. So, are you working on any more projects?
Yes, me and my family have a project hopefully coming out soon, and then just doing other TV shows and films, and putting my head down and doing the work.
Okay, and where can our viewers follow you and just stay up to what you have going on?
So you can follow me at Dijon Talton on everything. Dijon spelled like the mustard. Yeah, I know. And then À La Carte is À La Carte all black on everything. Instagram, TikTok, I think on Facebook, Twitter, and then Watch All Black is All Black's actual handle. So just follow everybody. And there's clips there, so you can take a preview of the show and just know what's going on when it's being released, and keep engaged in the conversation.
It is a what is her name? Insecure mixed with a very mature girlfriends. It is all that very mature, but it is definitely all that and more. So thank you.
I just want more than a physical connection.
If you need permission to be a hoe, I'm granting you permission, girl.
We gotta spice it up around here.
Okay, relax, Magic Mike.
I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Why did you lie to me about Dad?
Baby's getting real ghetto at the house.
Watch me be the next Beyonce.
If I'm signing, you don't waste my time.
Straight bitch, no chaser.
Oh, that's community dick.
I don't trust you, Rain. Are you talking to anybody else?
No, I'm not.
You're definitely not the side chick type. I'm gonna be there to catch you, but we are not a friends with benefits situation. You're in an open relationship?
You down with that? Bad bitches are never thirsty.
I like it spicy, ooh, you're so spicy. You're delicious as